cool. And we're just going to zoom in just a little bit. Perfect. All right, get you guys all zoomed in over here. That's a bit too close. There we go. There we go. Okay. So remember, everybody, you got to chat up with your friends in the comments. Check everything out. We're going to have a good old show today. I've got a big monster canvas. And you caught me right in the middle of putting on my liquid clear. And so what I'm going to do is spread out all this liquid clear so it's nice and evenly spread. And you can see it's very slippery. If you ever come into a point where it like grips your brush and you know you have too much there, you got to work it out. All right, but all we do is cover the canvas with our linseed oil or the Bob Ross liquid clear. It's very much the same thing. All right, get out here. And now we got a wet canvas. Why do we need a wet canvas, you guys? Do you know why we need a wet canvas? Can you tell me in the comments now? Why would we want... Why would we want a wet canvas? Ooh, this is going to be a big guy right here. Oh, I'm going to like it. I'm going to like it, guys. So, why would we want a wet canvas? Does anybody know the answer? Does anybody know? Anybody know? Can't believe we didn't start that one up. Here we go. Perfect, perfect. Okay, we're all fired up and looking right to blend better. Exactly. Exactly the reason why. We need our canvas wet because we teach the wet on wet technique, meaning all these paints are wet, right? They're not dry, and our canvas is wet, so it will slide all over the place. Now, we're going to do a double portal painting today, and if you have 2 different size paper plates, that's going to work. If you have just an old nasty little cake pan, that would work as well. You just want 2 different size ones. You can see I've used this one already today. We taught a class to Brenda today, and it turned out really awesome. And so it's kind of inspired me to teach that same painting to you guys right now. It's going to be really cool. So, in order to do that, we need to place out where we want to have our portals. Maybe our first one's right here. And now I'm going to show you some colors that we've never used before. Okay, these are it's the Phthalo, the Phthalo green / yellow right here. And then we have our Phthalo turquoise, which is really cool. It's very much a mix between the Phthalo blue and the Prussian blue. And so if you have either of those, get a little bit of that onto your brush. Or if you get this turquoise color, it's really cool, right? And then I want to go around the edge, but also on the inside. So let's move our little portal guy, and we'll drop on this dark undercolor. Just mush it around, right? So that way I know if I go around that section, at least it'll have some color. Let's go to that phthalo green color. So we basically have phthalo blue, phthalo green. We'll drop it right in here, right over there, over here. And we can do the same thing on the top and the bottom, right? So we'll have our phthalo greeny color up here, and then our phthalo bluish or Prussian blue kind of mix, our phthalo teal or phthalo turquoise, which is a really cool color. I'm telling you, we used it earlier today, and it's just gorgeous. Okay, we'll finish the inside just so we have a full circle, and this one's a 12-inch cake round. You can get these at Michael's in the cake decorating section, right? It's a nice perfect circle that you can hold up here, do our thing with, right? Now, if we know that guy's going to be up there, our other bigger one is going to be down here. Now, this is a lid from an old pan, which has a handle on it, which makes it so much easier to grab, right? So let's decide. We can do some different colors. Let's grab a different brush. And we'll go into some crimson-y purple. How about that? How about we do that? And that way, it'll look a little different to the other one that we did earlier today. All right, so I'm going to use the Madder Carmine from Meaden. And I'm just going to show you, we just need just a little bit of it. I'll show you how much I put on there. I'll show you. The Meaden paints are much wetter than the Bob Ross or the Windsor or the Gamblin paints. And so we just need a little tiny little pile right here. Little baby little guy. Just a little guy. And we'll grab our crimson color, and it's going to mush out like acrylic. It goes very fast, which is why we only need a little bit, and then it's going to spread very far because our canvas is wet, right? So if we had our bigger portal, and he was going to be down here, kind of connected. I don't want the crimson and the green together, so let's leave a little bit of a space. We'll put our crimson around the edge over here and leave a little space for some blue. All right, we don't want it to be too much, just like that. So it's on the inside of our ring and on the outside. of our rainbows. Bang, push it out a little bit further, okay? Then we'll get our crimson. We'll go to the other side, which is over here. We'll drop this guy down over there. Not trying to get it too close to that green because it'll make a gray that you don't like. Okay, now, since I know where the other sides I need to fill are, I'll take my Prussian blue color right on top of the brush, or you can use your dioxazine purple, one of the two. I'm just gonna mush those guys through there into that little empty area. And then we'll take that same dioxazine purple, maybe a little bit of our Prussian blue, put it down here. Bang. We don't need it to go all the way to the edges of the canvas, okay? We only need it where we're actually going to be using it. Now, let's say we'll get a little bit more of that crimson-y color just right on top of the bluey purple, and it'll make it a different color, purplish hue on the inside. Very cool. Now we're ready to paint, guys. Are you ready to watch? You gotta tell me where you're watching from and just what time is it where you are right now. My watch is not on, it's passed away. But it is a certain time. It's 5:06 for me, so what time is it for you guys out there? All right, let me know in the comments below. Let me know, and then we'll get going. Now, I normally do this before the show starts because some might consider it boring, right? And some might not. If you've never seen it been done before, if you really want to know how to do it, or how much to use, or what it's supposed to look like before you start, then these are the videos that you're going to want to watch. These are the literally every single step videos, and they're hard to do when you're doing it live, right? Because when we're doing a literally every single step video, there's a lot of downtime in between. And that way you can cut out all the stuff that you really don't need to see, like me picking my nose or something. So, let's get out there. Now that we got these colors, dab off our brushes so they're nice and dry. It's like we're playing a drum solo over here, see what I mean? Just dab them off on paper towel just to get all the rest of that excess wetness out of there. Now, let's grab up our, I'm going to spread this out just a little bit more because it's a little rough around the edges. And I want it to kind of fade out a little bit. Right? You can drag it inwards. Who cares? Wherever it ends up being, that's where it ends up being, and we'll get a cool, different color when we do it. Right? Okay. Now, we'll line up where we want our guys to be. We know this one's down here. We know this one's up here. So, oh yeah, that's going to be pretty. Now, these ones are very big, right? So I don't necessarily want you to hold it up there the entire time because it tends to get a little heavy, right? Now, you also want to be able to reach everything that you need from your 2-inch brush to your fan brush all at one go, okay? You got to be able to do that. Now, that's what we're going to focus on, just making one little circle where we're going to touch out here. We're going to go around the edge. Wherever our brush contacts those colors that we had laid down, stop right there. Right? Maybe we'll bring this guy just a little bit further in. Boom. We don't really want the colors to cross. We don't need another line there. It's all just for our eyes anyway. And as you can see, that white is not as bright on the right-hand side as it is on the left-hand side because my brush ran out. And so instead of trying to go back and line your thing back up, just don't let it move, okay? Now, if we need any amount of excess around the outside, right? If you add a couple little dabs over here, maybe a little thing over there, maybe some, just not everywhere, right? We don't need them everywhere. But it'll drag out our color into these other bits, just a little bit more in those spaces than it did anywhere else. Now we're going to dab off our 2-inch brush again, don't move, and use this as a backboard. That way you can push against it and slide it out. And the places where there's more paint, it will have a longer streak, and the places where there's less paint, you'll have a shorter streak. But if you keep this guy as your little backboard, then that keeps you from coming inside of your portal, and you get this really cool eclipse type of a thing. It's so neat. It's so neat, you guys. So much fun, right? Now, let's go line up our bigger guy. We're going to wash our brushes off so there's no green on the brush. Can't have any green on our brush when we go to do our bluey, crimsony, purpley part, because then they're just going to make a gross color. So let's wipe away any amount of little green bits we got over here. Get rid of it, right? Wipe it off, toss it down. Now, let's load up our fan brush again. I'll show you. It's kind of hard to do everything all at once, right? Pull down like this. There we go. A little bit of our white. We need a fair amount because it's going to start to fall off of the brush as we move throughout our portal, right? Hello, you guys. Can't, maybe we should hit that if the painting actually finds a new home. Then we can hit that button, right? 806 watching over there. We got people all over the place. You guys, you're amazing. You're awesome. I appreciate everybody for being here. So, I'm a Rochester transplant. What does that show? What does that mean? A Rochester transplant. Look at that bluey, greeny. I love those colors that we've been using, guys. Just fabulous, right? Now, let's get down here where we wanted to have our other one. And it should crisscross without having too much, right? I don't want to put it dead underneath. I don't want to put it too far over to the side. And if you have to go back and fill this in, maybe we put a tree there. Right? It'll be totally fine. All we need to do, let's get it up a little higher. There we go. Is crisscross our opening, right? So if our opening is a little bit lower on this side, it's not big deal. We just got to crisscross it and stay out into our colors, okay? So we're going to start out here, go around the edge, making sure my brush, oh, look at that pink. Oh, it's gorgeous. As we push and push and push, more paint will fall off. So maybe we rotate the brush, pop the white side out there, going around, coming around the edge, bink, right there up next to it. And we don't even really need to put anything in between. Look at that, that's fantastic. Right? Now, most of the time, you've got enough paint down here in order to grip it, right? Grip it and rip it, just like you would with an aurora borealis. Just want to pull them out, not necessarily, you know, perfectly straight or straight sideways or straight down, but just like a clock would be, right? So you can grab onto this paint and extend it. Get this aura around your moon. That's really cool. They don't have to go forever. Doesn't have to cover from side to side. You can have a cool little thing like this, right? Maybe it's bigger on its one edge. You never know until you get out there and try it for yourself, right? So anywhere that's kind of rough around the inside, you can always fix when we come to do our foreground and cover areas that you don't like, right? So don't worry about it. Might not turn out perfect on your very first go, you know what I mean? But it's okay. You can come in here, and the more that you kind of blend these guys, even with your finger, the more it'll blend in with those darker colors and disappear, right? How do we want it to look? Totally up to us. Bang. You guys, it's a cool little eclipse out there in the night. Okay, now, even with that same amount of white paint that we have, okay, stuff that I just wiped it off on my paper towel so there wasn't so much there. Grab a little bit of this one. Little bit. Now we're going little bits. And let's say, maybe we wanted a moon. Maybe we got room for one on this big old portal, so we pop a little moon out there in the night. Does that look like a moon? Yes or no? Just type in the comments, yes or no, does that look like a moon? Grab the last bit of that brightness. Does it look like a moon out there, yes or no? I would hope you would say no, right? Because it's not supposed to be the moon. It's the aura around the moon. So you toss it out there like that. Come over here, grab a little filbert brush. Just a little filby, right, in the night. Pull it down, pull it down. Just getting it on the one side of our brush. And then, not the back side, just the front side. We'll come up here, we'll tap on, pushing flat, right? So the brush is flat, and then our brush handle is way out here, very flat against the thing, and we'll just spin it. And we'll spin it, and spin it, and spin it, until you get the most perfectest circle you've ever seen. And you got a cute little moon out there in the night. Isn't that fantastic, everybody? It's just gorgeous. Now, since we've pushed on all that paint around the moon and made it spread its way out, if we come in here with some new paint, maybe a little bit more of that paint, right? Our titanium white didn't even cover all the green, so it's not a whole lot. What if we popped in just a little cloud, right? Because this paint is a little brighter, and we're going to push on it with less pressure. It's going to stand out and just look like it's in front of that faraway aura. As long as we don't touch it too much, right? The more you push, the further it grows. The more little things you get, right? It's all kind of crazy boy out there. Now, let's get on to our big palette. By the way, we have our Paint with Josh clear palettes. We also have this same large size in a black palette, and we offer them both in clear and black in the smaller size. And you can find those on paintwithjosh.com. Over here like this, we're going to grab these guys, our crimson, our black, and our blue. This is the Prussian blue. We're going to make a very dark black color. And that dark black color, we call Paint with Josh black. Because, not the, it's different spelling. Different spelling, same pronunciation, different spelling though. Right? It's a very deep, dark, purplish, blackish color. You can kind of see it shining in the blade there. Right? Very soft, purplish color that remains dark until you give it the slightest bit of brightness, and then it'll brighten up for you. Right? So we'll get out here into the darkness, scrape up a little bit. And when's the last time we did a mountain inside of a portal? What if we came up into our little clouds over here, dropped it down, right underneath where those clouds are? That's going to give you depth, especially if you pop back up and leave that darker section of those clouds. Get the depth behind the mountains, guys. However we want it to look is exactly what it's going to look like. Now, we don't need this guy to be too big, so we don't want to have too much paint, and we'll scrape off the excess, right? Getting rid of the excess color. If we have too much out there, it's going to be bad for us. All right, now let's go into that phthalo turquoise. It's so hard for me to say even. Phthalo turquoise and our blue is basically like ultramarine blue and white, or Prussian blue and white, with a little phthalo kick to it. It's just gorgeous. Right? We don't necessarily need it to be super bright. Just mix some more of that phthalo-y, bluey, or turquoise-y in there. Right? Pull it down. We don't need a whole big pile either because we've just got a small little mountain out there. Right? Let's come off of this guy and let's just say all of our little shadows are streaking down in the night. Very light pressure, almost dropping the knife out of my hand because we're holding it so lightly. Right, it's coming down here, kind of filling out those spaces. It doesn't have to go all the way to the edge. You don't have to do anything, right? Maybe let's curve around this side. Just again, with those same kind of 45-degree horizontal things. We're not, and then if we want to, we can turn our knife long ways and kind of fill those little sections out, right? But if we're putting on too much paint to begin with, guys, we're just not gonna like it. I'm telling you, since our moon is kind of casting in here and in here, let's put it off the back of this guy. A little bit. The more you curve it around, the bigger your mountains become, right? It's all up to us what we're gonna do each time that we go to do it. You guys, I'm telling you. Right now, let's go back here. We'll mix up a little of our titanium white, little bit of that little phthalo turquoise-y color, and mix it down into a very, very, very bright version of this same mix. Right? It's not pure white anymore because we mixed in a bit of that phthalo turquoise. That's still hard to say. Now we're going to come in here and scrape it up, come up and attach that little roll up here, and just let it quick down. How do you want your mountain to look? Right? You get to be the judge. You have the end-all, be-all say of, hey, you know what? I want it to look like that, or this, or whatever. It's up to us, right? What if there's a little valley inside this guy? But we can't make it all just pure white. Right? We have to leave some dark areas in there. Not everywhere gets covered up in snow. We connect on down here and just let it kind of fade out because we know we're going to blend out the bottom of this guy anyway. Doesn't have to do anything we don't want it to do. It can come over a little bit further, right? The more that you mess with it, the more it's going to mix into those colors. So if you want it up there, you got to make sure you got enough of that thicker paint in order for it to stick, right? Little things, guys, little things. Look at that, just building a mountain out of nothing, right? What if we took a little bit of this bluey bit, just because I want to have some more shadows, and I'll show you. You can even just whatever, right? Because we're not going to pay attention to that. We're not going to see it. It's going to be gone. Let's take our 1-inch brush. Because we've got a smaller little area, we'll take our 1-inch brush in this way, and then go up the white side, very lightly, so soft, right? You want to take away some of those textured bits because it's not going to make sense to our brain when we get closer to our foreground. If we have so much texture in the background and nothing, and the same amount of texture up in our foreground, then it's going to mess with our eyes and be like, you know what, that doesn't look right because that either looks too close or that doesn't look far away or whatever. You know what I mean? And again, up to us every time we go to do it. So since we get that stuff down here and we've softened it back up, we're going to go to an extreme rough pressure and just tap it. Tap it, tap it, tap it, right? We're not dragging it. We're not doing anything. We're just tapping into that bit of bluey color and allowing it to mix in with all of the other green stuff that's underneath, right? You see it's kind of turning into a cloud already. We're tapping down went that way with our knife, right? So if we came this way with our brush off of our lighter side, or again, our little shadow side here, and just tapped it away, you end up getting this misty fogginess underneath your mountain, which is exactly what you want to do. Pop it out there like that. Mix it up, and you got yourself a little bit of misty fog. How does yours look? Because every time it could look a little different, and that's the most fun part about it, isn't it? The differences that we can get in there. So let's imagine, maybe I want this a bit brighter, just because I want to have some darker trees or something stand off against it. So maybe we brighten it up with a little bit of white, come back in, mix it down. Maybe don't mix it as much, right? Since we added paint, it's going to want to grow, so we have to touch it less, softer, just like that. Oh, fantastic. Now, let's get over here, and we're going to need a little bit of our cadmium yellow real fast, because I'm going to throw, instead of having like a snowy field or whatever, let's put some grass in there, some little footy hills, something, some little something, way off in the distance, right? Now, let's get our 1-inch brush. I like to paint with Josh 1-inch brush when we're doing grass because it's very thin on the grass, right? Up here, up there, a little bit of our yellow, tapping it in, tapping it in, tapping it in. Now, let's go, because the only other green that I have is this Phthalo green yellow, which is from Williamsburg. Brenda brought it during class today. The more yellow that we add to it, the brighter it will get on us, right? So let's see what this one looks like. It may be too close to here, and we might have to change our idea. What if we come tapping out of the darkness, or out of the mist? It is very close, but you can kind of see a little bit of grass coming down, can't you? I can. Let's come back in here, a little bit of my yellow. Sorry, guys. Can someone check YouTube and see if that has now ruined the stream, and I'll have to restart the video again? My goodness. I don't know what to do. But look at that. Isn't that how it's almost the same color, so it helps kind of fade into that bit of misty fog. Isn't that the coolest thing? That is literally fantastic. You guys, look at that. Right, now we're going to drop out a little bit of water underneath that guy. Just a little touch of water. Let's see. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. You guys are awesome. Still okay? All right, thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. Now, let's come underneath that bit of grass, right? We got to have some water falling, maybe, and interacting with our little 12 and 14-inch portals that we have over here. So let's get a little of our white onto the same old nasty fan brush. Doesn't matter. All this same color is the same color that's on our brush. But it really doesn't matter. Let's leave a little space. And I'm going to watch. This is too big of a space, right? It's a little bit too much. If we can get it up here and just get it right up onto our grass, right underneath, right? We'll leave that little dark separator that's back here. And we're basically just taking these guys and sliding them off to the side. That's literally it. We can create a little bit of river water, some sort of something or other, all up to you, right? How do you see it in your brain? Does it look like that? Kind of looks like that to me. Right now I know that on this side, I'm going to need something to hold all that water back, right? Otherwise it's just going to flow out onto our floor out here in the middle of our room. So, a little of our cat yellow, a little of the Phthalo green yellow, or Phthalo green, or sap green, whatever you want to use, right? Let's come tap right up onto the color. Normally I say we got to keep a disconnect, right? But that's only on that side of the river. On this side of the river, we have to cover up where our water and our grass meet, because we would need to be standing here looking back this way in order to see that dark separator. Right? Get up there. Look at this, guys. Oh, goodness. How close can you get to the side without having your grass spill out of your portal, right? All of a sudden, looking pretty cool, guys. Pretty cool. Just if you're asking me, that's what I would say. Looks pretty neat. Pretty neat. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, man. Right? We love yous all. Thank you all for being here. I've got to do a waterfall falling out. But what do? Do you come straight out of this side and come down, or do we feed the river back here and dump it out this way? Every time you do it, you can do it a little differently, guys. It's just literally so much fun that how you can change something and have it be different automatically, right? So watch this. Say we had our river, came and it hit something, some sort of something. It had to force its way back this way, just a little. We don't want to show too much downward flow of the water, right? So just like that. That is fantastic. We're going to load up our brush full of titanium white and this green color, whatever. Right? Grab up here. You see how we're not down around the edge? Because you can't just have your waterfall fall from right there at the edge of the portal. It looks weird. You have to attach it, give it like an inch, inch and a half, over to the side, down, right? Turn the brush over to the side, down. Get our water to start falling out of the portal, guys. And then into the next portal. What's it gonna look like? Who knows? Maybe it's a big fall. Maybe there's a rock right here. Check this out. Right? You could still go, you could go down and down and down and start going over and down like that. Or you can imagine there's a rock in there. Oh, that looks frickin' rad. Let's not go too far though, right? We go too far, we're gonna trap ourselves in. If there's a rock right there, it wouldn't be so bright, it'd be nice and dark. If there isn't, then that's okay too, right? Now look at these guys. You got up there, down, down, up, right? So you can basically take these guys and decide where you want it to fall and just mix them up a little bit, right? Make it a little brighter. That's where the water is getting all crazy and gonna roll over the edge. It's very thin right there, it's very bright. So let it roll out, and now let's top down and see what we can do with this little guy, right? Do we catch it all in the clouds, or do we let it fall in front of the clouds? That sounds like a better idea. Let's get a little bit more white. We'll come down here like this, little bit of paint. I can show you how it would look like it would fall into a cloud, or how to push those back, right? So let's go like this. Put a little bit of our cloud color out there. Let's switch to a different brush. And again, we're gonna work it harder than we did for the mist in this cloud. Kind of like we did with that first guy. If we push it back, especially underneath the waterfall, right? Push it, make it rough, make it rough. All of a sudden, that looks like mist from the waterfall itself falling down, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be like that though, because we could come in here with our white, and now that we got a bit of color back there, attach on again, fall down through. How far do you want it, right? That water now pushes the cloud back because it's now in front of, right? How far does it fall down? Does it hit something and make a turn, or does it just fall forever into the abyss? It's all up to us each time we go do it. Now, since we had that little spot where it's a little darker than the rest, let's take a bit of darkness, project up into the water, covering it, forcing it, lots of pressure. Right? Go down like that. And now you got a bit of rock that has separated your two falls into wherever, right? Now let's say, just because this might look cool, these two falls fell into that cloud back here, right? But the one that's in front, or this side, is in front of the cloud. So those ones are getting caught up by all of this. This pop just a little bit of extra paint, and then we'll go less pressure, which will leave those whiter details out there. Now we got the cloud floating through the waterfall. That looks cool. Woo! Woohoo! Who's gonna copy this idea next? That's the question. Now maybe when this one fell, we got way down here, it's gonna have a little bit of mistiness himself, which we can keep separated from our cloud off in the distance, just by having a little bit of darkness in there, a little dark separation. Look at that, boom, a misty cloud. Now it look like they're falling into two different places, don't they? That is neat, and it's all in how we're putting down those colors, right? You never can tell until you go do one what it's going to look like, right? Now maybe this guy, again, there was a bit of water at the base of him, and he was coming out this way. Now you can either make like a little lake, you could also have this waterfall out into another world, you guys. All up to us how we go and do it, isn't it? All right, now let's wash off this brush. Since we're down into the pinky purpley guy, let's start changing some colors up. Let's see what we can do. Right? Over here, what if we got a little touch of our titanium white and a little bit, should we go pink or purple grass, guys? I think pink, because we got the purple section in there. So, I'm not asking anymore, I'm just doing it. Run a little bit of our white, a little bit of our crimson, and we'll make a little bit of pinky grass. And you can see I'm kind of hitting the brush and then pushing it in, just like that, okay? We'll come out here and let's decide our little pinky grassy area. Started flowing up this way, tapping it, right? Getting lower and lower and lower and lower each time, creating this cool little thing, right? Now, inevitably, you're going to have some places that are brighter and some places that are darker, just how we load the brush. It's just how it works, right? So you can come back in and tap over those little guys and just sort of fill them in, right? You don't have to fill every gap. If there's a bit of darkness out there, let them hang out, right? The more we tap on this pink, the more it will go purple because of the purple undertones that we have underneath, right? You don't need it to be crazy detailed or bright. You just do need it to stay inside of our little portal back there. That's the one rule. Keep it inside the portal. Right? Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Leaving a small shadow underneath. Right? Now you got your bit of river, got your bit of land holding it back in so we can get a bit of white. And come back in here and brighten it up. Pulling it away, however we want it to look. Right? Doesn't that look cool? My goodness gracious. I don't care if you say so or not. I think it looks cool. Oh, man. Alive. Drop some of that bright down. Whip it. Ooh, look at that. Just with a little whoosh, whip it out into the night. Almost looks like a little rainfall back there. That looks cool. That looks cool. Okay, now remember, we could do the same thing on this side, or we could bush it up. Right? But if we come onto this side with our grass, it's got to be out into the water and not leaving a little dark separator in there, right? Just a little thing, just like that, my friends. Very simple and easy to do. Now we can go back and add our big old trees and do all sorts of stuff. And then decide, what do you want this guy to look like? Maybe, just maybe, right? We either trap him in and seal it off, or I'm gonna come back here, all right? All right, I can see it, it's in my brain. It's in my brain, my friends. That's cool. Go like this. Out the side, down, over, down, out of the portal and into the night. Where do you want it to be? You're the decision maker. It's all up to us, right? Take this guy, slide him back until he blends in. Boom. How easy is it to make a little waterfall fall out into the night, you guys? What if this guy had a little color underneath him? A little bit. Remembering that we didn't put much undercolor down here, so it's going to be very pale. A little bit of misty fogginess underneath his little tush, okay, as it falls out. And then, let me switch to that phthalo green, phthalo bluey color. We'll pop it in underneath with some heavy undercolor, and then go across it with some white. Brighten that color up. Too much white, it'll be too bright, so be careful. Same brush that we put the undercolor on, you can swipe it and soften that bit of water as it's starting to spill its way out of the portal. Then do we put land? What do we do? You know what I mean? It's totally up to us. We are in control. Very small darkness separator down there. Very small, very small, very small. Fabulous. Okay, now we're going to need to mix up a lot more of our Paint with Josh brack and our Paint with Josh plaque. Okay, the brack is the dark brown, the dark sienna, our crimson, and the Van Dyke brown, crimson and Prussian blue, and I'm going to need a space to mix this on, just to show you the difference. Right, so we're going to take out this whole area right here, my favorite spot to mix. Right there. Take it out. Hey, it's gone. It's gone. Boom! Yes! Remember, you can grab this painting on paintwithjosh.com, plus the less expensive one that we did earlier today, and many other ones that are over there. That's something new for me, says Terry. I like that. You've never seen one of the double portals, huh? They're one of my favorite things to do. I wish he could put something like 3 birds in the sky. That would be original. Are you trying to be funny? You trying to be funny? Like, because that's what I do. So I appreciate you. Okay. Since we're going to mix up all these dark colors right here, it's going to make this very dark brownish, blackish mix of darkness, right? Very similar to our plaque mix in its dark color. That's all you really need, is that supreme darkness and a lot of thick paint in order to have texture. You know what I mean? Is all we got to do. Now, let's switch to the Paint with Josh fan brush, because we may put the big tree right over here or over here. I like it. Either which way. We'll come over here like this. Let's plop down into that darker paint, wiggling it, trying to force as much of it onto the brush as we possibly can. And then, maybe, right there, I can see it out of the portal, into the portal, bang, right down here into the front. Okay, we'll take our bit of brush, come down here like this, and we'll just tap into it, tap into it, tap into it. The more we go, the more we tap into it, right? Becomes more easily seen when you get into that colored area. There we go. Just like that, right? You want all the thick chunk on your canvas. That's how you get it to stand out and look closer than the mountain is, because of the chunkiness on our brush, right? We don't have enough chunk, and we're not going to have a cool tree by the time we get done. Very neat. Don't even have to add a base to it or finish it all the way down or anything, okay? Same thing over here. Let's drop another one. Let's take another little guy. Just a little old guy. Right? Maybe we do a couple little old guys. We take this guy right up into the cloud, onto the grass. Right? He's a little leaner. He's a leaner. He got stepped on when he was a baby tree. Out here, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. Fatter, fatter, fatter as you get down to the bottom. You got yourself a little tree. Right? Come in, we'll wiggle down our brush again since we got the paint. Wiggle it down, wiggle it down. Maybe he had a little friend that was right there. You don't even need to really put your trunk into your trees. It is just a guideline as we go down, right? To keep us from getting too far out of the way or crazily wavy or whatever, right? You want to push full pressure into the brush and the canvas when we're making the shadows of these trees. Full pressure, right? Lots of pressure on there. And then when we go back to do our highlights, it's a very, very, very small amount. Very light little touch, right? Now, since we got 2 out there, yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. Okay, let's go back into our titanium white and the crimson color, just to get that grassy color, and then we'll kind of tap it back up and clean up the bottom or the edges or wherever. Just tap them away, seat them into the grass. If they're not tapped in, then they're kind of floating above the grass, and that's a little weird, right? It's just a little strange. Those guys in. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, I know I want to have something right up here. We don't want to get it too crazily full either. So let's take this brack mix, the brown and crimson and blue. Right over there. It's like a brownish black. We'll take that, we'll mix it with our plaque mix, which is the purplish black, and then we're going to make up some more. Our crimson, black, and blue mixed with the brown, crimson, and blue, all just so we can have one enormous pile of dark color. That's all you really need. One giant big old pile of mess. And that way, we'll have enough that we can possibly finish our painting. Now, if I wanted to do any other trees, let's say you leave this open, right? You don't want to do anything on the bottom. That's cool. Pop your last tree in right here. If you do want to do something on the bottom, then let's make our tree come up through it. You know what I mean? All depends on you guys, literally. Quite literally every time we do it. Let's come over here. We'll get one more little something or other. Just right here. Ooh, no, let's put a bush right there instead. Let's do one more little tree though. We can do it. Right, pop them in. Little pressure as we get going, and then the more we go, the more we push. Push, push, push. Fill it, right? Doesn't have to be, symmetrical. Doesn't have to do anything. Doesn't have to be super small, or vice versa, supremely large, right? It's whatever we feel looks the best against all that darker color. It's seriously it. It's seriously it. All right, let's bring this guy down a bit more too. And that way it'll make him look like he's further away than his other friends or closer. What do you think? If this is lower than these two guys, does it make it look closer or does it make it look further away? Type it in now. Then we'll just have to see what all you guys say out there. Oh, I like him. It's very cool. Now let's switch to our bush brush and we'll finish up the whole rest of this painting. You guys check in, tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you are right now? Right? Makes it look closer. Exactly. 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 You guys are amazing. Up through it. Let's see. Thank you, Sarah J. I very much appreciate you. Remember, guys, if you're watching over on the tube, just give me one thumbs up. Like, drop the comments down, give me a thumbs up, and then you can bounce right back over to the stream. Those thumbs up mean more than you can imagine. All right? Let's tap into the thickest, heaviest pile, a part of the pile, so it's really goopy. Let's come up here. Just cascade. Drop down a little bit, right? Not trying to let our bushes hit our trees, but make it a little taller. It'll look like that bush and that tree are one thing together. Maybe the tree's growing out of the bush. Same thing, let's get a little bit of that dark color. Let's come out here, and let's project up into the water, and then down. All right, you can let it dangle as far as you want to let it dangle. How far is your dangle angle? It's all up to you, man, literally. I'm gonna go up and put it above, and just kind of hide where the river comes out. Again, all up to you, right? Now, let's get down to the bottom. We know we'd have a bit right down here, lots of paint on the brush, lots of pressure, dangling down into the mist, and it makes it look like it's right there, doesn't it? Just right there, same thing over here. Two big old monster bushies as they're hanging out the edge of our portal. Just the closest possible things as they're off the bottom of the guy, right? Same thing out here. Pop it on, launch down, little bits. Doesn't even have to be perfect. That's the most perfect thing, is their imperfections, right? That's what makes them a perfect bush, is that it's an imperfect thing. There's no shape. What are we, like drawing, cartoons? There's no shape to a bush. You get it out there and get it as crazy as you want, right? That's how I like to do them anyway. Okay, let's get up here and we'll highlight some stuff real quick. Just real quick like. I'm going to take a little, I don't have much left, so I'll take a little of my Indian yellow and my lighter color of my brown. Come up here and make a small little pile. Maybe we'll take a smidge of our white. Right there. So yeah, you have all those different colors and we don't over mix it all. Wipe off our knife. Okay. Scoop up so you can see through the palette to the painting. It's a little tiny hole, but you can see it. You can see it. Right? Come up and we'll kind of grip onto our thing and just let it roll down. Right? We have the dark color up there purposely to grip this lighter color. Right? That's what all these shadows are for. All this texture is meant to grip our highlights. It's like we're playing catch, right? You got your one guy over here, your guy over here. When these two meet and those points, those peaks and valleys hit, they're going to pick up highlight without having to smush the whole brush against the canvas, right? If you have enough texture, that'll happen for you automatically. Now, let's get over here into our liquid white. The liquid white is the sister product of the liquid clear, right? It's a very runny white paint. It's nothing like the thick titanium white. It's very, very, very drippy and like milk almost, right? What I'm gonna do is go into my bright yellow, over here into that phthalo-y green color, until we get a cool thing, right? Doesn't have to match. We don't really want it to match. So let's take this darker greeny, bang, pop it down around the bottom, right? A few little bits. Not everywhere has to touch. It doesn't have to be connected. Nothing has to do anything, right? It doesn't have to be no which way. Same thing, liquid white on the bottom side. The bottom's gonna be green. The light is gonna be on top. So we'll wipe off or clean off our brush, get a nice fresh bushy brush, because we want our highlights to remain nice and clean and bright. Which means we gotta clean the brush off, dab it on a paper towel, and then go back with our liquid white and whatever highlight color we wanted to choose. All right, so let's say we wanted our highlights to be that bright yellow. Come out here, and we tap into a little bit of our Indian yellow as well. So the two differences, they're slight, but they're there. Okay, we'll come out here, maybe just a few little bits. Oh, that's a fiery color. All right, that light will not make it all the way down because we've already put our shadows down there, right? So you cannot let that orange or yellow or whatever scream all the way down here. Maybe if there was like a flower or two, you know what I mean? But not all of it. You're gonna lose all your shadows, okay? So, let's go back. Those same things, they're still very wet. You can see all the liquid white and all the texture. Do you guys see that? I'm gonna try to get close to the camera here. You just see all that texture? That's what you want when you drop it off onto your canvas, right? It's foul, it's nasty. That's the stuff. Right? Get in here, make sure you get all those little fingers, right? So when we plunge in and pull away, some of the paint on the brush wants to stick to some of the paint and it leaves these little stings that come out, right? Come up here, very light touch. If our pressure is too much, we're gonna make mud. You guys, do you wanna make mud? Because I sure don't. It's not fun to do, and it doesn't look nice either. Now, how do you make mud? Can you tell me? Tell me. I basically just gave you the answer. So, you should be able to tell me if you're paying any attention at all. Well, how do you make mud? Lots of people can make it, but maybe they don't know why they're making it. Let's see. All right, over wet, extra pressure, yeah. Let's see. It's been 5 minutes. Let's see, mixing too much, exactly. All right, thank you, Chewy. Says your technique really helped me. I appreciate that. Pushing too hard, exactly, right? If we take all of that, imagine, because we're mushing on the paint. And so when you pull it away, you got that pile of darkness out here in different places. Look, right? It's just a chunk. So if you mush that chunk and mush it and mush it and mush it and mush it and mush it, you're taking your light color and your dark color and you're blending them into one nasty thing, which is going to be extra wet because of our liquid white, right? So the secret is heavy pressure when you push that and get it to stick on, and then the lightest touch when you go to do your highlights, okay? If your highlights aren't coming off and you're having to push too hard, your mixture is off. You need to wetten those paints down. We need to get some more crimson. Just a little bit. A little crimson color. We don't need too much. There's only a couple bushes down here in the pink area. Now, my little crimson pile right over here, so I can smash right into it. See what I mean? Straight into the whole thing with that liquid white, and then the more that you do it, the more of it will come out onto your brush. Very light on our touches, and then rotate your brush. Don't have it sitting at the same shape. Otherwise, you're going to make the same shape over and over and over again. Right? Same thing when we turn our brush. Do we have any paint left? See how that one's a bit brighter than this guy? Just because of how the brush was loaded. A bit darker. Right now I can tell I'm going to have to push too hard to reach all that paint in the center of my canvas. So what I need to do is go back, get the liquid white right on the top of the brush again, tap in the top at this angle. It's not flat, it's on an angle. So it picks up all the paint up here and allows it to fall off and dangle down. You guys, that's really pretty. I like that one. All right, we can get the same thing, get our liquid white and our dioxazine purple. Tap it in so you get all those little fingery bits. And then with this guy, it's very purpley down here anyway, but we'll have that very light kind of lavenderish shadow that's different from our just straight up black. And so when you're really looking at it, you'll be able to tell. Very stinking neat, you guys. So again, this one is on my website. It's the very first thing you're gonna see when you go there. So if you like it, please support my business and help me stay in business and help keep you guys with free videos, right? I won't charge you to watch this video. And if you like the free content, I need your support, guys. I really do. Because without you guys, I can't afford to buy supplies and bring you more videos, right? That is how it goes. Now, let's get a little of our cad yellow and our phthalo-y green color. Tap those guys in and bring it up here. There we go. And just kind of decide, what do you want it to be like? It's got a lot of liquid white in there. So, that by the time that we just barely tap at it, it's going to release that liquid white and have the brush, or the paint, just fall right off of the brush. And again, if we're having to tap too hard, then our mixture is off in our brush. You know what I mean? It's not going to work if your mix isn't there. A couple little bits on the backside. Oh, little babies, look at him. He's gorgeous. And you see that darkness? We didn't cover all of it. You can't cover it all. Otherwise, it's just going to look very flat, right? And it looks flat and there's no depth to it. Now, let's get that same liquid white. Let's come over here into that pinky color, or crimson-y pinky, and we'll go down here on the bottom and do the same thing with these little guys. Little tap. Anywhere we want it to be. Popping it out. And just saving a couple little shadows, right? Not every place is going to be exactly the same on its brightness or whatever. And you can always go back in and darken them with your plaque mix and stuff, and then restart over, you know what I mean? So very light touches initially. And the more that you go down, the more you let those shadows overtake. You don't have to fill everything down there. A little darker on the backside. Little things in the night, you guys. Right? All up to us every time we go to do it. You can try it a little bit different, or try a different color. Put this over there, do that over here, or whatever. That's all up to us. Bang, bang, that's it. Nothing too crazy. You get too crazily bright, you aren't gonna like it. Not me. I'll say, cool, that looks awesome. You know what I mean? It's you're the one that's not gonna like the over crazily brightness of it if you let it get too much. All right, so what do you guys think of that one? That is cool. It's cool, guys. It's cool. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. You never have anything positive to say, but you keep showing up. That's funny. I like it. I like it. Thank you, Tina. Appreciate ya. You guys are awesome. Remember, you can grab this one if you go to paintwithjosh.com. It can be yours. It's a real big canvas, too. Thanks, Joe. Make it look so easy. I had a fail tonight. That's okay, Joe. There's lots. You know what? Those failures are going to teach you more than I ever could. You know what I mean? Those failures that we say, or whatever we call them, they will teach you more than any instructor ever can. Because you'll go, ooh, I didn't like how that came out. You know what I mean? Next time, I'll do it a bit differently than that. So, it's okay. Don't consider it a failure. It's just another lesson learned, right? We learned another lesson on what not to do when doing whatever you did. You know what I mean? Think about it like that versus a failure. You learned something. You're like, okay, I learned not to do that, right? It happens, guys. It happens to everybody. Everybody out there, man. Okay. Our black, crimson, and blue. Just need to get a little bit more crimson, a little bit more by Prussian blue. And then we're going to launch a big old sticky tree into the sky. Maybe put some mossy stuff on him. Who knows? We'll figure it out as we go. We'll figure it out as we go. Hey, don't need a lot of paint, you guys. You gotta have a lot. If you want anything to stand out as being in the front, there's got to be a lot of it. So, let's mix up our little plaque pile. That's what we had left over. So let's get I'm talking about a lot. We'll see. If we don't use it, then we'll use it in another painting on Thursday or whatever. We'll just put it in front of our black. There we go. That's a lot. Oh man, that's more than I thought. But guys, it gives me an idea. Oh, does it give me an idea? Okay, I just got an idea. Just from this huge pile of paint, I got an idea. Okay, let's see what it would do to our painting if, right, let's go back over to this yellowy, greeny grass. Now, this has some liquid white in it now, so it's going to be very wet to the touch, okay? You don't necessarily need it to be very wet when we're making grass. Let's get the majority of the paint off the brush. Let's come out here, and let's say, what if we tossed in a little hill in the night, right? Come underneath him. Pop it in, underneath, a little lower, underneath, a little lower, underneath, lower, 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 and then we can wrap them around this side. And all of a sudden, guys, you got a cool little hill of grass out there in the night. Right? It's that easy. Came down very close to our little dark separator down here. So small at the right angle of our brush. Not trying to cover in every bit of dark, right? Look at the cool shaving cream. Yes, that looks cool. Brighten this guy up as we come down here. And so he's a little bit more bright than his further away little friend. Look at that. Look at that. You guys, let it get dark back here. Doesn't need to be so bright. Holy moly, I like that, my friends. My friendses, I likes it. Okay. Let's go. My goodness. Never mind. Yes, so don't. Yes, do. Guys, let me see. Let me just show you what I have over here. What if, instead of a big sticky tree like this guy, right, over here, what if we did these guys? Just make it look like they're so close up to us. What do you guys think? What do you think? Should we put these big old honking crazy amounts of paint up onto our guy to make those trees look so close? I think it would look pretty cool, but you gotta let me know. Especially if somebody got this one. Authentically Ashley, thank you, I appreciate that. We're about to just chuck a whole bunch of paint on it. Big tree on the sides. Oh, do it. Yes to the pine trees. Bring on the honkin' trees. Oh, man. You're very welcome, Joe. Thank you for being here. All right, guys. Let's do the honkers. These are humongous old trees in the night. Do it. Oh, yeah. See, Sandra. I'm with you, Sandra. Yes, the big trees look so close, don't they? Don't they just look so close? Okay, here we go. All right, my friends. Let's use the Paint with Josh 2-inch brush. It gets a little sharper on this branchies. Wiggle it down like this. And I'm talking about trying to turn your 2-inch brush into a fan brush, right? We want so much of that stuff. And you want it to kind of climb up the bristles because that's where you're going to make your shape. All right? You're not making your shape like this. We're not tapping the front of it. We're tapping the edge, you know what I mean? And creating it like that. So, let's get in here with a lot, guys. Oh, lordy sakes. This is going to be a huge, a 30-inch tree. Okay, here we go. Oh, hang on. Hey, just wait just a second, okay? Before we get out there, let's throw some stars way back here into our sky. Just like that. A couple little bits, like a galaxy beyond. Get our stars out here. Over there, we can throw a couple into our little waterfall spaces. A few more down in there. Our little bits kind of falling out, flying out, flinging out, wherever they want to be. That's where they get to be. All right. You asked for this. You just remember, whoever asked for this has to get it. No, I'm just kidding. But you asked for this right here. We can tap it out. Making our little bits, right? A little bit in between. Tap it out. It's like a little triangle every time. Now, they're going to be hard to see up there until we get into our color. But we've got to start somewhere. Bang. Bringing out our little branchies. Oh, guys. They're going to look so close. Pop, pop. Let's make them sharp. They don't even all have to come out the same. Turn our brush over so we get all that texture again. And you can start to see them projecting their way out into those portals. Again, wiggle it down. You need so much paint, guys. I'm talking about literally so much paint. Let's get some droopies on these guys too. Drooping down, drooping down, drooping down, drooping down. So we get a couple things. They're a little different. They're a little crazy. And these guys, it's a lot of paint. Guys, it's so much paint coming off of these things, right? They are literally insane with the amount of paint that we did with these trees. Like, if you've never done one of these before, I'm sorry, it's gonna be a lot of paint onto your brush. Cut in front of our little bush over there, right? Gotta make sure you got enough paint on it in order for that to happen. Out here. Let's not go too much further than that guy right there. But good heavens, that's a tree. And then we're gonna have to go highlight that dude, right? So same thing, let's get this as much as we can anyway. Let's come off of our other side. I'm just gonna dip down little things. Just kind of let the branch make its own little branch. Let that brush work, baby. All right, come down, pop it out. Come down, pop it out. These crazy things, guys. Crazy boy. Doesn't even have to look the same on each side. That's the best part about it, really. Doesn't even have to look the same. Popping out those little crazy dark bits, right? That's all we need. Seriously. How far do you want them to come out, right? Oh shoot, the camera's about to fall out. Look out! We're pushing on these things hard, ladies and gentlemen. And some of the times, it tries to give free, right? Out here. How far do you want it? Down into your grass to cover over, to make the tree in front of the grass? It's all up to us every time we do it. I didn't think we were going to have enough paint on our brush to be able to do that guy. How far do they come out? Filling up all that excess room. Ooh! He's a big old tree, my friends. He's just a monster in the night. But it helps fill up all that space. You know what I mean? We don't have to do anything anymore now to fill that room. Now, with the same brush and the same paint, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to take the brush vertically, pull it down, down. Try to get all the paint to lodge up onto the end, even if we're going up, right? We're still using the same corner. Now that we've struck it down this way, turn that brush over, right? And then mush, 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 mush. Filling in all of that stuff, right? The little bits of your brush that poke outward are gonna help, right? They're gonna, it's gonna be very thick, it's gonna be very dark, and it helps push everything into the distance. It is a lot of paint, I agree. You need a lot of stuff on there in order to make it happen, Captain. So, make sure you mix up an enormous pile. A humongous pile. An intensely huge pile. You gotta mix it up because you're gonna use it. And if you don't have enough texture, it's just not gonna work, right? They just don't work. Can't see the left side. You will. You will. You'll be able to see it. Or the right side because of the glare. At least you can see those tree branches with all that glare, right? Look at that. I love an old droopy tree. An old drooper. Yeah, didn't it put so much depth into the painting even without the highlights, right? Because all that stuff is now in the back. Why? Why? Who can tell me why? Why did all that stuff now just get pushed further into the distance? Why? Why? I get that the trees are dark, okay, but what about them makes them in the foreground? Can you tell me? I'm trying to give you some hints. Trying to hint you up over here, guys. Thank you, Authentically Ashley. Did we just get an order? Hey, oh, it's not this painting, but we did get an order. Maybe it's that older painting over there, but I'll have to check. So, you guys, thanks for supporting my small business. I just love you so much, and we gotta hit the, hey, baby. Oh, I love it. You guys are awesome. I just dig you. I dig you. Anna got something. What did Anna get? What'd you get, Anna? Let's just see over here. Oh, you got the one from earlier. That's awesome. I'll have to show you that one too. It's wicked cool. That's the one that we did in class earlier today. So Anna grabbed that one. This one's still here. It's still waiting on you. So don't make it wait too long or it'll find a different house. We'll find somewhere else to go to, and you don't want that to happen. Now, if all these trees are going to be green, and all those guys are already pink, green, we got green. I mean, we could do green down here. What if we do this little guy, that turquoise, the Phthalo turquoise from Williamsburg paints, I think is what they are. And let's just decide, maybe there's a couple little guys back here. Right? Just up on the top of that plaque, right? Just hanging out, nothing too crazy. There's some over there. We don't need it to be too blue. And remember, we want it to stay dark, so we can't have too much of our highlight on there. Otherwise, it won't stay dark anymore, right? Then we can project some branchies and all sorts of stuff growing up out of that old little friend right there, right? Out of our old little guy. He's just a little guy. It also looks like maybe I could sneak in one more little, wink, just like that. Just a little guy right there. Right on the edge, like he's just trying to grow over the side. He's like, hey guys. Hey guys, all right, just trying to grow over the edge over here. And we're like, no, you get your little tushy back in there. Get your little tushums back in there. There we go. Little bits, little things, guys, little differences is all you gotta have. I'm telling you until I'm sore from telling you. That's all you gotta do. Little different things in there. Wipe off this palette over here. Now, no matter whether or not we find a new home for this painting or not, we still have to come up with a title for it. So, you guys are going to have to title this painting for me and let me know what you would want it to be called if you had just painted it, right? Let's pop in a couple of yellow bits into here too. Just trying to grow. Just in there trying to grow, then drop some seeds from down here and they're just trying to grow out. Bink. Oh. Try not to cover too much. There we go. Not too much. Cover too much, you don't like it. Now, let's get back here. Let's get back here. We're going to need to clean off a big old space. So, let's clean some of our brushes as well. You guys check in, let me know where you're watching from. What time is it where you are right now? Let me know. And I'll finish washing off some of these brushes just real quick like, and then we'll be back to the show. All right, here's your ad break. We gotta wash the brushes during the ad break. That way we'll have some clean tools, we'll have some space to use them. I tend to roll through the show and then clean at the end just to keep you guys interested, you know what I mean? And not have you leave on me too soon. Okay. Guys and gals. Just got a couple more fan brushes real quick. Just real quick. They don't take long at all. Now, tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you are? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know out there where you're viewing from tonight. There we go. Perfect. Okay. All these brushes. Now we got clean brushes. Now let's clean up the palette. All right, it's a long commercial break, I know. Let's clean up this old palette. And this stuff we're not going to use. And then we'll be ready to go, guys. So, where are you watching from? What time is it? Do you want this painting? Go to paintwithjosh.com and you can have it. Okay, let's wipe down real fast. This one I think has literally every color we can possibly use. Even some new colors that we added today. Brenda came for a class today and then brought these Williamsburg paints that she likes. And she's She's like, this is a really cool color. I was like, that is a really cool color. Let's use it. Let's use it. Oh, that's neat, guys. That's so neat. So neat. John, you just got it? What? Hello, my friends. Hang on. Hey now, guys. Woo! Woo! Let's just see. There it is right there. There it is. So John is going to have to come up with a title for this painting by the time that we get done. He's going to have to pick it. It's no longer up to me. All right? So if you want John to pick your title, then you have to type it into the comments box and hope that John sees it. If he doesn't see it, I don't know how to help you. Right? So type in your comment on what would you want to call John's painting. If you were me and you just got finished doing it, and you say, you know what? I gotta title this thing. What are we gonna call it? You let us know, and then John gets to pick from all of those title suggestions because he got it during the live show. Thank you, John. I'll let the people pick the name. It's much easier to let people pick the name, right? Over here on YouTube, we got Night Falls. I like that for a title. Authentically Ashley, thank you for staying around so long. I haven't seen you before, and now I've seen you comment like 5 or 6 times. And so, thank you for being here. You must be a brand new fan. From Canada, perfect. Mystic Portals in the Night. Roy, Washington, in the same time zone as you are. Joe, if you're up in Washington, you got to come down and take a class with me, man. You got to. It's just going to be fantastic. Look at this thing. Narnia. I like that. I like that. Ice blossoms. I dig everything. Okay, I'm going to mix up our sap green, which we just got out of the pan, our cad yellow, right here. Doesn't even need to be overly mixed. Seriously. We may need more, but as of right now, that's what we're gonna go with. Right now, I'm gonna get same thing. We made the brush or the branches with the 2-inch brush. We gotta highlight those suckers with a 2-inch brush too. Tap it in, work that liquid white in there, and all it does, not only brightens up our colors, but it also allows it to come off with the lightest touch, right? And once we start coming off with this light touch, we can start to fade in and out, right? And keep our branches looking how we want them to without being too bright, right? It's just a very soft touch. And you can see every time that happens, our bright green turns black. So if we came out here, off the edge, I'm just gonna tap at it. Right? Not everything has to be so bright, or vice versa, so dark, and we don't want to tap on it too many times because we'll end up creating that what? What will happen, my friends, if we tap on this color, if we have our very bright, light, wet highlights, our very thin paint, right? And we tap too many times onto this very thick paint. What's going to happen to our stuff? Are we going to get, sand in our sandbox? Are we going to create mud? What are we going to do if we over tap these things? Oh man, look at these trees. Fan-frickin-tastic. Right? And you don't want to force it. It's like if I get out here and there's no green or barely any green coming off, I don't want to keep tapping at that. I want to go back, maybe mix up a whole new pile of my green and my yellow. Because we got a whole nother side of our tree to go on as well. Right, down in there. However, dang, make it different. Don't make it too perfect. Back over to the liquid white. You don't need to wash the brush in between because we have the same color. Okay, tapping on there. Tap. Little guys. Little things, right? They get brighter, they get darker as they go backwards. Brighter out here onto the frontals. And the more that you tap at it, the softer it gets. All right? So, you got to decide how you want yours to look. Do you want them to be soft? Do you want to have a hard edge or a hard line out like that? All up to you. Maybe there's a little thing that happens out there. You never know, guys. You never know. There we go. Fix that little guy. He's not bright as I wanted or as sharp or as projected as I wanted him to be. Very cool. We have our last little dude down here, and because he's the last guy, I don't care if he gets darker because he's on the bottom. He's not going to catch so much light. Right? Very cool. Now we got to go do it again on the other side. This time, let's wash our brush out. Every so often, your brush can get too full. Right? If it gets too full, then it's not going to leave the same shape. It's not going to deposit the color the same ways. So take a second, wash it out. Now we'll go back to our liquid white, back into that greeny pile, and we'll be all set-a-rooski, guys. Much of that thinner out as our brush as we can. Otherwise, it'll have a weird reaction when we go back to it. Yes! Okay. My hand is so sore. I don't know if I'll be able to come back and do another show, you guys. Literally sore to the bone. And again, there's more liquid white on this now, right? We dipped it in there because I just had just loaded the jar up fresh. All right, so let's try to work that in to that thicker pile of paint that's up top. Tapping it, trying to load it in there, getting it down the sides of the brush because this is what's making our shape. This stuff, not this stuff, this stuff, right? So, let's come out here, and let's get out onto the top. Start dropping out little babes, little things, covering little spaces, little places and little spaces out there in the night, right? Little droopy trees, little things here and there, however far we want them to go outwards. A couple little bits, they don't all have to be the same. They don't all have to have the same kind of highlight or the same kind of color or the same shape or whatever. But as we all know, the color is going to dissipate. The more that we touch those darker paints that are underneath, the more that color is going to turn dark for us, right? So let's drop down, pop out a whole other little thing, feed its way back, right? Because these old droopers in the night. Oh, baby! Isn't that the coolest? It's like literally the coolest thing I've ever seen. Quite honestly. All right, let's see if we can get any more on the side of this brush. Pop, pop, pop. Remember, we don't have to cover everything. We're not painting the entire tree. We're not doing every branch, right? Little things, guys, little bits. Out here, this guy, again, can get darker and darker as he mixes down. Because there's less stuff going on down there, right? Big old saggy branchies. Woo! Woohoo! That's cool. I think we can even change the look of our land just by tapping it in straight across. Now all of a sudden, you can see more of our grass beneath, right? Very neat. So you guys got to come up with a title for John's painting that we got right here on the easel. Come up with a title for it. Man, those trees are humongous. They are just hew to the mun to the gus. Humongous. Little taps, little things. Not everywhere it's got to show. Right? Not everywhere it's got to show. Not as brightly anyway. Just until it looks right to you, right? Take a step back. Step back from it. And then look at it again, right? That's every time you guys see me look like this at the cameras or at my TV, it's because I'm looking at what the painting looks like from 6 feet back. You don't want to be up here like this. You can't see. You can't see anything up here. You're too close. You know what I mean? Back up, back up, back up here to the cameras. And then we'll see the picture in all of its entirety. Right? And maybe see that we need a little touch of our darker color right in there. Just to help it, right? Or a brighter color, excuse me. Tap, tap. There. Gorgeous. Don't touch it. Don't you dare touch it, right? We've left space in between. Not everything is all the same amount of green on those branches, right? That is what you want to see, and it helps make these guys so close to us. There we go. Now, we're going to come in with a few little branches and little sticks and twigs, and that is pretty much it. So I'm going to get my odorless mineral spirits, the brush cleaner, right over here, into our titanium white. There's a little bit of crimson in there too, so we get some pinky sticks. It's all good. Right? From the areas of dark is where these sticks like to grow from. Right? They don't like to be seen. You don't want their bottoms to be seen anyway. A couple little things. Where do you want your little sticks coming from? Because there's all sorts of stuff in there. Right? It needs some wood, some sticks to grow off of. So throw some little sticks in there that are holding all these things up. You know what I mean? And that guy popped out. Over there. Let me pull it up. Maybe this guy's right up in the top. Helping project distance, right? It's all the distance. I think maybe we got a couple little guys down here. Just kind of, you know what I mean? Holding up those flowers or whatever. However you see it is exactly how you should do it. And then, oh, we got one more big old branch popping up through this guy. Zip! How far? Right? It's going to get lost if we go too far into that white. So let's not go too far. Little things down here. Think wherever you want to have it, wherever you see it, wherever you think there should be, and you get these cool little branches. They're so neat. They're so neat. Just holding up all that stuff down there. Right? Coming from underneath our trees. Very cool. Very cool. Thanks, Josh K. Thanks for your order of your pallet. I got it all boxed up. I just got to run it to the postman tomorrow. I'm hoping the mailman stops by work here tomorrow morning and he can just pick them all up, and then I won't have to take like 7 boxes down to the postman. Thank you, Cheryl Klein. I appreciate ya. Night vision. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, let's come in with our little bird signature. Since we've added our little bits of our branches and stuff, sticks, little sticks and twigs and stuff, right? We can come in here and let's throw the old birds way up here into the portal, man. Oh, we do them on the outside right here. Let's do right. Just flying through. They look like they're coming through. They're in between these two trees, this tree and that tree, and they're flying through this way. So cool! Guys, that looks neat. That looks neat. Let's put the old JK down here. The old Josh K. Right there. Boop, boop, boop. Right here. You guys got it? That's a beauty right there, guys. He is a beauty. I really like those trees now. Now that we've practiced them a couple times, we can really get down on them trees and just go crazy. Look at that. It's fabulous. Okay. So, John, did you select a title for this one? And this is going to look so crazy in a light party, you guys. So crazy. Yes, Mary Kirby, I do. If you go to paintwithjosh.com, that's my website, head over there and check it out. We sell them all. Mystic Falls, amazing, right? So, John gets the pick. What are we going to do? My top 3 are Portal Night, Secret Woods, and Mystic Falls. That's cool. That's cool, guys. That's stinking neat. I like it. But, John, you gotta choose. You gotta choose which one is which. Which one is which? Throw just a little bit more back into here. There we go. I'm not trying to get it everywhere, but trying to fill up that little space back there. Make that guy a little darker. By hitting him a bit more, we can't see what's going on down at the base of my tree. Fabulous. Okay. So, you guys, you gotta help John choose. You gotta help him choose. You also need a lot of liquid white and a lot of that, your pile, big enough that you can run your whole 2-inch brush through. I'm telling you. And it takes practice. Don't be upset if you didn't get it on your first try. I didn't get it on my first try either. Right? My first try was like 5 years ago. It's seriously 5 years ago when I first started painting. Started painting 6 years ago. About 5 years ago, I probably tried to do these trees, and they were so bad that I didn't do them again for 5 years. Right? So it takes practice. Don't get upset if you don't come out looking perfect on the first try. You need more paint than you can possibly imagine to stick up there. Right? Whole 2-inch, all kinds of paint. You saw You saw how much was there. That's how much you gotta have if you want to make these guys be as close to you as possible. You gotta have a lot. So, you guys, let me know what we're gonna title this one, John, out of your 3 top favorites. And then, you never cease to amaze me every time you produce an awesome work. I appreciate that, Macario. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate you. I think I already said that, but appreciate you. Do you like Sabrina Carpenter? By the way, you're the next Van Gogh. I don't know who Sabrina Carpenter is. Jace does art. I don't... Mystic Falls. Okay. I've never heard that name before. So... Mystic Falls, says John. Oh, this painting is humongous. It's massive. What number are we on? 1732? Right? Mods? Guys, painting pounds? 1732, right? Right? Am I right? Am I right or am I wrong? Here we go. Number 1732. Thank you so much. She's making a fancy French 732. Okay, this one's called Mystic Falls. You guys are quite honestly amazing. I cannot do this without you guys, right? You people that get all the paintings, that book the classes, that tap the screen, that comment, that share, that do all that. I cannot do it without you. Without you guys getting the paintings, I can't keep getting more supplies to give you free videos. I can't survive without you guys that grab the paintings. So I can't thank you enough. Honestly, to everybody, I just can't thank you enough. We're about to move to a bigger studio space, in which case, of course, it's going to come with more rent per month. And I'm going to really be relying on you guys hard, right? Like I hope I can maintain and only get better and keep producing these awesome paintings for you to try and learn. But as you guys all know, the supplies are not cheap. And that's all we got to say about it. So I very much appreciate you. Even if you've never grabbed a single thing, not a poster or a puzzle or even a sticker or nothing, right? I still appreciate you watching and tapping the screen and hitting the like button and sharing it, you know what I mean? Sending it to somebody, saying, hey, you might like this guy, Grandma. Or, you know, whatever. Hey, grandkids, you might like this guy. Send it, please, because you guys are the ones that help me reach more people, right? If it's just, and don't get me wrong, I love everybody and all the regulars and all that, but if we never reach anybody new, then we're going to eventually not be able to sell any more paintings because you guys will have them all and they'll all be in your houses. We'll never reach anybody new, right? And so I need your help to reach new people, reach new viewers and eyeballs and students and customers. I need them all, and I need you to help me do it. So, hitting that share button does so much more than you can imagine. Tapping the screen, liking a video, commenting on a live video after it's already over, right? So it becomes a video now. It's not a live stream anymore. Go comment on this same video even when it's not live. That helps me. It really does. So, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for that, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. I love this all. Right now, since John got this one during the show, I don't know if he's an avid viewer and watching, maybe he just tuned in for the first time, but we're going to do a wicked cool light party on his painting, and it's going to be amazing with all these colors, okay? So, I'm going to give you a flash warning, right? Save it for one trip to the... Thank you, Josh. I appreciate you. Oh, we went all frozen over there on YouTube. So I'm going to give you a flash warning, which means we're going to flash the screen with all sorts of crazy colors, right? It's going to change the color of the painting. So if you're sensitive to that, don't look. Turn your phone away because it's going to go wild, right? And we're going to start it right after all of you guys type in the words, I'm ready. If you're typing in the words, I'm ready, then keep your thumbs right there and right ready to go, because I want you to tell me what flashes for you the most. Something is going to flash more for you than anything else. In 3, 2, 1. Light party! Boom! You guys, what's flashing for you the most? What stands out? What catches your eye? You guys. Man, that's cool. That is cool. Look at it. Look at it. Look at those treesy poos. I'm just digging it. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Right? What's flashing for you the most, guys? Type it in the comments, and we'll bring the light party back down to normal lighting conditions, my friends. Normal lighting conditions. Now, the mountain, the bushes, the falls, the waterfalls, the edges of the portal. I appreciate it. The 3 small trees, I dig it. The portal circles, the waterfall, the light around the portals. What'd you see over there on Facebook, Peggy? Portal, the mountain, the aurora around the spheres. They were flashing. I feel you guys. I feel you. Never seen me do that. It's cool. All right, well, let me show you one more thing you've probably never seen as well. And we call it the RGB party, meaning red, green, blue. First thing we're going to do is flash blue light. We'll go in reverse. Blue light, and then green light, and then red light. Whichever one you like the best, just type it in the comments. That's the only other thing. And it's going to change so cool. Ready? We're going to go blue in 3, 2, 1. Blue. Oh, guys. Look at the bluiness, especially when we turn the other light off. Look at how it just makes it like just nighttime. Just nighttime, man. Oh, the blue. Okay, let's go green in 3, 2, 1. Green. Remember, all you have to do is type in which one you like the most. The blue, the green, or the red. All right, we're going to go red in 3, 2, 1. Red. Oh. It's the devil's portal. It just makes it so deep and dark. You guys, that's way cool. Way cool. So what did you like the most? The red, the green, or the blue? And we'll come back to our normal lighting conditions. Kick that ring light back on over here just real quick like. Bink. Just like that. Perfect. We like the green. I feel you. I like the red. I mean, it's always red for me. Red, red, red. That's my favorite. Just makes it. Ah, there you go, Diana. Me and Diana are on the same page. Red. Red, says Gordon Denman. Man, all were awesome, but the red says Elisa. Blue says Richie Rich Guts to Glory. Right? Pamela says Ted. Pamela, I thought Ted was the best too. Out of all the colors. Blue, green, and Ted. I loved Ted. It was just so dark and so deep. I'm just messing around with you. I know it was a typo. I know. I just like to mess around with you. But Ted is 100% my favorite color. Remember, guys, we do have other smaller scenes, like this little guy. Right? Sort of similar in its trees anyway. This is kind of a practice version for a different painting, and then we went portal crazy, right? But we do have this little guy. He is number 1728. So if you're looking for a smaller one, for less expensive, right? Cool little painting. Double falls, wicked mossy tree branches and roots and all sorts of cool stuff. You can find this one over there. Like I said, 1728 on paintandjosh.com. All you gotta do, head over there and grab it. Let me show you the one that Anna got for us tonight. Anna, are you ready to see the class painting up close? Let's just see what it came out to be. Come over here. Look at this. Woo! Very similar. This was my class painting earlier. Inspiration, perhaps? Maybe. Inspired by this? So this one came out really cool as well. Did it on a much smaller canvas, right? Didn't add the big trees. I was going to put this big guy into here, but we decided to go with these other bigger trees. Just one other different way you could paint it and have it look freaking rad. Love these roots down here. They're so cool looking. So thank you to Anna for grabbing this one. Thank you to John for grabbing this one. And didn't we sell a power light? Or was it just the two? Was it just the two? Because I want to thank everybody. And if it was just the two, then it's just the two. Richard! Woo! You guys, are you joking? Oh, that one's so awesome, Rich. That's one of my favorite ones. And it never really got any love. So thank you to Richie Rich. Yep, we got to spin the wheel. Hang on. We got to spin the old wheel before we get out of here, right? So, because John got the one that's live on the easel, he gets to spin the spinny winny wheel of goodness. What do you think it's going to land on? Maybe a Paint with Josh puzzle, a Coleslaw shirt, a poster, maybe a snapback hat, or a fancy wine glass with Paint with Josh. Maybe some extra stickers, maybe the Grabblerized, maybe a Glitterwix gift card, or one of the You Lose sections. Which one do you think it's going to land on. Type it in the comments now. All right, and then we'll just have to see, guys. Which one do you think it's going to land on? We got everything from stickers to t-shirts to glasses or beer steins to posters to puzzles. And the grand prize for this one, if you hit the grand prize, John, you're going to be landing on this framed signed poster print. Boop, boop, right down there. Framed behind glass. Very awesome. That's the grand prize if we hit it. I hope not, because I just got it, and I want to hang on to it for like a couple days at least. Right? So, puzzle. The grand prize, says Joe over there on Facebook. Oh, man, here we go. Let's do it. Oh, it was so close to the grab-la-rise. But we've got Paint with Josh Fancy Glass. So, John, do you like a stemless wine glass, right? Or like an 8-ounce beer glass? This is the best way to describe those two sets of glasses. Whichever one you like, I'm going to send you, if you send me a message through the website or whatever, or maybe I'll send you an email through the website, and I'll send you the code. You basically go back to paintwithjosh.com, put the glass into your cart, type in the free ship, the code, and then it makes your order free. And that's my free gift back to you for grabbing the painting during the live show and having it be the one that's on the easel. You guys are amazing. Amazing. Only Dan's glass is the only choice. That's funny. It was so close over there on Facebook. Joe said, grand prize. It was close. It was one click away, man. One click away. So, you let me know, John. I'll email you, and we'll do all that stuff. But in the meantime, thank you all for being here. I'm going to say goodbye to the Facebook crew and the YouTube camera. So I really can't wait for your guys' versions of this paint. Please do it. And please send it in to facebook.com/officialpaintwithjosh or instagram.com/paintwithjoshk. Right? Those are the two sites where you can send me photos, or you can drop it into any one of my Facebook posts. You guys know me, I'm posting all the time. So any one of those, I'll see it in the comments, and I'll be like, oh my God, that's amazing. So, I love you guys. I can't wait to see your versions of this paint. So until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day, and blah, pow. Bye. You guys are amazing. I love yous all. Thank you so much for being here.